The wind carried the scent of metal and smoke through the alien city where silver towers reached the clouds and light pulsed like living veins across the streets. Among those towers walked an alien woman named Lyrana, her skin faintly blue, her eyes reflecting the stars of her distant world. She had been told since childhood that humans were gone from war, that they were gentle, now soft beings who had learned peace after nearly destroying themselves centuries ago. The council said they were harmless, and Lyrana believed it, until she met one. It happened when her ship was forced to land on a forgotten mining moon at the edge of human territory. The air was dry, the soil red like blood, and the only shelter was an old outpost built long ago by human settlers. When Lyrana entered, she found it half buried under sand and shadow, but she was not alone. A man stepped out of the dark wearing a torn jacket and carrying an old weapon that hummed faintly. His name was Claire, he said in a low voice rough like stone. She had never seen eyes like his. They looked like storms caught behind glass. He asked her what she was doing there, his tone calm but cold. She said she came for minerals and repair supplies. He did not smile. He watched her every move, his hand near the weapon. She wondered if all humans were like him, but something about his silence felt heavy. Not cruel, just burdened. She noticed old scars on his hands, some deep like burns. Lyrana tried to speak softly, telling him she meant no harm, that her people believed humans had no more need for violence. Claire looked at her for a long moment and said the words that stayed with her forever. He said, "War never leaves those who fought it, it just hides in their bones." They spent the night under the flickering lights of the outpost. Lyrana repaired her ship while Claire sat nearby sharpening his blade as if expecting ghosts to come. She asked him if he fought in a war. He nodded but gave no details. Only when she asked why he lived alone on such a dead moon did his voice crack a little. He said he stayed because he could not forget what his hands had done. Lyrana did not know what to say. Her people believed memory could be cleansed, but his eyes said otherwise. She began to see that peace for humans was not a gift, but a wound that never healed. When dawn came, a storm rolled across the horizon, lightning red from the dust. Lyrana's ship was still weak, so Claire told her to stay inside. Outside, the wind howled like beasts. Suddenly, sensors screamed there were signals in the distance, not from nature but machines. Raiders. Old war drones scavenging for energy. Claire's face hardened and he moved like a man waking from a long sleep. Lyrana watched as he strapped armor pieces to his arms and lifted his weapon. His movement sure, fast, and practiced. He told her to stay behind cover. She said he could not fight them alone. He smiled slightly and said it was not the first time he faced death. The battle outside was like a storm of fire and sound. Lyrana could only watch from the cracked doorway as Claire fought like something ancient. He moved through smoke like a ghost, his weapon singing and the drones falling one by one. It was brutal and graceful the way he fought, not for pride but for protection. When one of the drones broke through and aimed at her, he turned faster than thought, shielding her with his body and destroying it with a final strike. When silence came, the air smelled like burnt metal and ozone. He stood wounded but still breathing. Lyrana ran to him, her hands trembling. He smiled faintly and said, "Now you know what they meant by human war." She helped him back inside, patched his wounds with her field kit. When she looked at him again, she did not see a monster of violence, but someone carrying too much history inside one heart. She asked him why he fought to protect her when he did not even know her. Claire whispered, "Because peace means nothing if we do not defend it." Those words broke something in her. She understood then that humans had not forgotten war. They had simply learned how to bear it differently. When her ship was ready, she offered to take him away from the dead moon, but he refused. He said his place was here, watching over what was left buried under the sand. Before she left, he gave her a small piece of metal shaped like a star. He said it was from his uniform long ago. She took it and promised never to forget. When she returned to her world, she spoke of him to the council, but they called it impossible. They said no human could live like that anymore. She only smiled and held the metal star close. Years later, Lyrana still thought of Claire. Sometimes she would look up at the stars and wonder if he was still there guarding the red horizon. She had met many humans since then, gentle and kind, but none like him, the one who carried war in his bones and peace in his heart. She never told anyone the truth. She knew that the universe had many kinds of warriors, and some of them did not fight with armies, but with silence and memory. They said humans no longer knew war, but she met one and she knew better.